Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. I'm getting really used to doing these get readies with me and talking to you guys. They're really fun, so easy for me to shoot and edit and post really quick. Because I am trying to post almost every day. I don't know if I can post 7 days a week or 5 days a week, but I'm trying my best to post from 4 to 5, 3 to 5, something like that. So doing these are a great way to get that done. Today I'm going to be getting ready for an event that I have on later on in a couple of hours. So I just decided to get ready. As I'm doing my makeup, I wanted to share with you guys a really cool stories you guys read in my title. It's a bit weird. It's as weird as it sounds. Let's just get to it. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my eyebrows, but the thing is that I kind of ran out of my eyebrow pencil, and I had an Anastasia eyebrow pomade, but I cannot find it for the life of me. I just spent like 45 minutes looking for it. I don't know what happened. So I just found this Stila black ink eyeliner. It's like a little cushion thing, and I'm gonna use that very softly to do my eyebrows. So that means I'm gonna have to go extra soft, or it's gonna turn into a nightmare. Alright, so let's start. Wish me luck, first of all. So the story that I want to tell you guys is about pretty much... Oh my god, he was my first kiss too. Alright. So all of this happened back when I was in high school. In high school, I was really shy. I didn't really dress the way I wanted to dress. First of all, I didn't know about it. I didn't know any stores. I didn't know anything about like plus size fashion. I just thought I was forever stuck with ugly fashion unless I lost weight, right? So whatever. I was not the cutest person there. This was like before braces, before my teeth were like really fucked up. And my self-esteem was like on the floor. I had friends that I would hang out with, and they would everyone around me was just so confident all the time, and I just felt like I wasn't. And then there was this one friend, her name was, actually I'm not gonna say her name because I want to keep her out of this. I'm just gonna give her name Stephanie. No way, I already knew Stephanie during high school. That's not her. I'm just gonna call her, alright, she was Dominican, so I'll call her my Dominican friend. She was really nice. I loved her. She was so nice. She was like one of my closest friends. During high school, we had, I think, science lab together or something like that. And we used to talk on the phone a lot and like chit chat, and then sometimes I would go to her apartment and we would do homework together and just sometimes just hang out. It didn't happen often, me going to her apartment, because I really wasn't allowed to be out when I was younger. Like, I wasn't allowed to go out. I didn't take the train for by myself until I was in college. Like, I was very made sure, my parents made sure that I was like for sure at home all the time, and that they knew where I was all the time, which was like smart. But which also made it like hard for me to meet any people. I didn't know anyone aside from my classmates. I didn't have friends like from outside of school or anything like that. Also, you guys, my hair isn't, I already mentioned this before, but my hair is in such an awkward length, and I try to like curl the end so that it had a little bit more movement, but now I literally just look like Christopher Columbus. It is the weirdest hair ever. It's on the weirdest stage, so excuse that. I didn't really meet anyone aside from school. I didn't have any friends. Like, I didn't hang out in the streets. Like, I wasn't allowed to do any of that. So for me to date anyone in my school, first of all, I was too shy to like be myself there, and no, it just didn't happen. So my friend Stephanie and we would talk all the time, and I thought she was so cool because her parents allowed her to have like a job. I wanted a job when I was in high school. I was like, I want to have my own money. That's so cool. My friend was the cashier at a supermarket, and I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. She was like an independent woman. So I wasn't allowed and whatever. So I remember her telling me that there was this one guy in her at her job at the grocery store that was like into her or whatever. He was like just very flirty. She didn't really like him. but he was flirty, whatever. She saw him like a friend, like a brother, if anything. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, that's cool. Like, you know, you girls are always sharing stories like that all the time. Um, and then I remember always calling her, and I used to leave her funny voicemails and be like super silly and be like, hi, you little bitch, call me back, or whatever I thought was funny, like when I was younger. Which I'm pretty sure she thought was funny as well. Okay, the eyebrow, it's a little heavy, but it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna try and brush out the like hard things that are around there. There's like some heavy ink throughout the eyebrows. I'm gonna try and brush that out so it's not that noticeable. Jesus, in the moment of struggle, does anyone else do this? Like you have to improvise because you're not gonna go to Sephora right now and buy an eyebrow pencil. I also, since I finished my eyebrow pencil from Anastasia, I ended up buying another one that I can't wait to share with you guys because it's literally one of my favorite eyebrow products ever. Like, it's just so good. It might be even better than Anastasia, so anyways, I would leave her voicemails all the time if she didn't pick up, and she would leave me funny voicemails as well if I didn't pick up. But we all knew, I don't know why I was calling her before 9 p.m. We all knew that we could only talk after 9 p.m. because that's when calling was free back in the day. Give it a thumbs up, guys, if you remember that. Like, it was serious. Like, everyone was cool after 9 p.m. I was able to talk on the phone whatever I wanted after 9 p.m. So make sure you called me, you text me after 9 p.m. It was the funniest thing back in the day. So I ended up leaving her a funny voicemail, and all of a sudden I get a text from a guy. Like, I have forgotten I had left her this voicemail, right? And then I end up getting a text from a guy, or I don't remember if it was a text or a call or something like that. And I think it was a phone call. Someone randomly calls me and then starts talking to me. He's like, hey, how are you? What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm good. Who is this? Because it was a number that I didn't recognize. So I was like, I don't know who this is. Like, what do you want? But the voice sounded familiar. He sounded like one of my friends from high school. So I would hang up and be like, whatever. And I would call my friend to this other number. And I'd be like, I think his name was Kumar. I'd be like, Kumar, why are you calling me? You're such a weirdo. Why are you prank calling me? And then he goes, that's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, someone else is prank calling you, but it's not me. But that's hilarious, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Anyways. And so I'm a teenager. I'm dumb and stupid. And I'm starting to talk to this guy who is on the phone. And I'm like, who is this? Do we go to the same school? Like, you have to give me a hint. I'm like being entertained by all of this. And he's like, hinting here and there. He's like, oh, you know, I've seen you around and I think you're really cute and this and that. And I'm like, oh, I'm like so flattered by the whole situation. I'm thinking it's someone I know. I'm like, it has to be someone at school because I don't know anyone. I don't hang out like in playgrounds. I didn't hang out in the streets. Like, I wasn't allowed. The only people I knew that were my age were in my school. So I was like, it has to be from school. Anyways, so we end up talking all night, and then I still don't know who this person is. And I'm like, okay, whatever, like, you're gonna have to tell me this and that. He doesn't tell me the first night, and then later on he tells me, I think this is, and before he tells me who he is or how he found my number, we were talking for like 2 to 3 days already, and it was just kind of like playful flirting, like trying to figure out who he was. And now that I'm listening to it, it sounds like I'm about to be murdered, and I'm like, why would you go along with this? Like, that is the weirdest thing ever. And it gets weirder, actually. He ends up telling me that he is someone who hacked into my friend Stephanie's, I keep calling her Stephanie, hacked into my Dominican friend's, cell phone, listened to her voicemails, and heard my voicemail because it was funny and he liked my voice. He just decided to take my number from there and decided to text me and call me. So I was like, what? That is so stalkerish, weird. It was the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I didn't tell my friend that that had happened. So hold on. Okay, my eyebrows are looking weird as hell. Oh my gosh, I wonder if I can pull this off, you guys. It just looks so spotty. What the hell am I doing? I mean, I feel like it's too late now to go back, and I don't want to start all over again. Oh my god, I could do eyeshadow. What is wrong with me? Alright, I'm wiping this off. I'm starting all over again. But I'll continue the story from where I left off. Alright you guys, I'm back, and I just decided to fill in my eyebrows with black eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna clean them up. It's kind of like the way I used to do my eyebrows back in the day. The cheaper way, before I can afford Anastasia and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I can barely afford Anastasia now, but now I have like $3 more than when I was a teenager. So just to quickly recap, a random guy starts calling me and texting me on my phone. I thought it was someone from school because I didn't know anyone from outside school. Turns out that it was this just random guy who pretty much hacked my friend's voicemail, heard my voicemail being silly and funny or whatever, and then just decided to pick up my number and start texting me because he liked my voice. So before I found out how he actually found my number, we were already talking for like 2 to 3 days, I think so, and I was really starting to get interested, and I was like, I didn't date anyone. I was like never talking to anyone, so this was like the first time I was getting attention from someone, so it was like very entertaining for me, and I loved it. So we're still talking and texting, and then things start getting a little bit more like, not serious, but like we were going from the next level of like texting and then talking on the phone, or talking on the phone and then texting at the same time when we were at school or stuff like that. And then the next serious step was like, I remember asking him, I was like, well, you need to send me a picture because I want to know who the hell I'm talking to. And he's like, yeah, I also want to know who I'm talking to as well. So like, let's send each other pictures or like selfies. So we start sending each other selfies and stuff like that. And like, I cannot, if my life depended on it, I'd be dead because I cannot remember his face. I cannot remember anything from him. Like, I just remember that he was like this skinny little Puerto Rican kid, and like, that's all I can remember. I remember him being like decently cute. Like, I was like, okay, he's kind of cute. That was really lucky of me. Or at least, I mean, he could have, it's just so dangerous and so stupid that I was in this situation. It's so irresponsible. Like, even for someone like me, because when I was younger, I was such a goody two-shoes. Like, I would never do anything like that. But because I was so well behaved all the time, that when something like this happened out of nowhere, like, I did not know how to like react to it, or what were the safety things to do. Like, I just didn't know. So I just went along with it, and then I'm like, oh cool, okay, at least you're like not like hideous or whatever. This is like me talking to myself. Like, at least he's not hideous, he's not crazy, ugly or anything like that. He was like a decent, handsome guy. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Or at least that's like the emotion that I can remember, because I cannot remember anything at all about his face at all. It's so weird. And then we started texting at night, and then he would call me after 9 p.m. and we would just talk and talk and talk all the time, and we would talk about like funny things, and like I would make him laugh, and it was just so crazy because it was like my first time flirting with anyone. If you can ask anyone that I've dated now, like, I am not a flirter. Like, I do not know how to flirt, because I feel like everyone during high school learned how to flirt and do all those things because everyone's like flirting with each other and talking to each other. I didn't know how to do that. I never learned because I never had any practice, right? So I was just completely lost, and I was just being myself. I was just being funny and silly and like joking around, because at school I couldn't be myself, but then when I was talking to this kid, I could be myself, and I was like, and I didn't know him, he didn't see me, so I really didn't care. So I would just say the dumbest things and say the funniest things that like I would normally say to my siblings or like my closest friends. And he'd be like, you're so funny, you're so like funny and smart and cool and like pretty. Cause like, let me tell you something. Those selfies, if I can find those selfies, they were like bomb selfies. They were like the cutest selfies. Like, I looked so good. My hair was much longer, which I think I'm gonna let grow now. Last video I think I was saying that I'm gonna cut it short or get bangs. I think now I'm in the process of like just letting it grow. just because I saw some videos from when my hair was longer and I miss it. But it's annoying. Whatever. Anyways, I'm going off topic. So I'm trying to like remember what else happened between him and I. I'm like, oh, I remember like it got to the point where I seriously was like catching feelings for this like random stranger. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, so then we started sending selfies and like talking at night. And then I think like things were like we were sending like sexy texts or like sex, I guess. Sexts. Anyways, we were just like sending these sex to each other and like being flirty and like whatever, just horny teenager stuff. And I remember this one time I was on the phone talking like to him on the phone, but I had to go to my bathroom because like I shared the room with my sister, and like it was like 1 in the morning and we were still talking. And then as I'm like talking and like saying something, like I hear like I think it was my mom and my stepdad just like wiggle the bathroom door like, hurry up, I need to pee. And I just like screamed so hard in the phone, and that I scared the person who was like my mom, I think, was trying to open the door, and him who was on the phone. It was just really funny. But anyways, things started to get a little bit more serious, and we were like, okay, we need to like eventually meet up. But it took forever because I was still so like self-conscious about my body that I didn't want to meet up. Like I definitely catfished this weirdo. He like, I would take the pictures like, I mean, when I was in high school, I wasn't really like as plus size or as big as I am now. So like I was able to get away with like looking even thinner, and like, you know, back in the MySpace days, we would all take pictures like airplane mode, like not airplane mode, but like really, really high. You're like looking super skinny, super like small. And I could tell that this guy was like so skinny. Like he was really thin. So I was very self-conscious, and I was just trying to like, he kept saying, let's meet up, and I just kept pushing it back because I wasn't ready to like meet up with him. And I was like, this is going so well, he's not gonna want to like talk to me or whatever my insecurities were in my brain. So we were talking on the phone for months. And because I remember we started talking probably in September, and we didn't meet up probably until like November, or maybe like end of October, early November, something around that time. Okay guys, so as you guys see, I'm already preparing my lids. I'm not gonna do So as you guys can see, I'm preparing my lids. I'm not going to do eyeshadow today. I just think I'm going to do like a really cool metallic eyeliner, which hopefully comes out the way I'm seeing it in my head. I've done it before, but you know, when you plan something, it doesn't always go the way you want it to go. Right, so then during this time we would just stall. I mean, I would just stall and be like, no, I'm not ready to meet you, or like, I'm busy, I'm not gonna be here, I'm gonna be out. Mind you, I didn't go anywhere. I was always home all the fucking time because it was just school, home. I had no life as a high schooler. There was absolutely no life. And then that's when he started sending me, that was like, I think when I got my first dick pic ever, and I was like, this is by the way, this is when I was 16 years old. So I was what, a sophomore in high school? Or a junior? I think I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah. And I remember like being shocked and scared and surprised at the same time, and like fascinated as well, because I think it was like my first dick pic. I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure it was. Okay, you guys, so now I'm gonna get into the eye look. What I'm just going to do is use Maybelline's Color Tattoo 24-Hour Metal Eyeshadow, which is this one right here. I don't remember buying this, but it just appeared in my makeup bag, so I'm happy that I have it. It's in the gray. I'm pretty sure I bought this for like a Christmas look that I was doing back in my old job. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the same angled brush that I was using for my eyebrows. I'm going to clean that up, and then I'm just going to pick up that eyeliner and do like a cat eye. Okay, so a lot of people usually text me and so a lot of people usually ask me, and they want to know what my technique is to doing eyeliner. I'm actually really good at it. I just have a steady hand, and it's been just years of practice. Sorry, there's like a huge truck driving by. So what I do is, the way I learned how to do eyeliner was just by lots of practice, and I kind of still do this technique if I'm gonna do like a crazy bigger eyeliner that I want to be extra neat and clean. So what I do is I get a little bit of tape, I kind of touch it around to take away most of the stickiness so that it doesn't pull off my face or like the little hairs from my face or like hurt me. So what I like to do is, once I have this tape, I kind of put it where I want my eyeliner to go, at least like where the tail should go. So I go and measure where I want it to go, and then I just tape it down right there. Oh. This is just such an easy guide for me to have a clean eyeliner. And it looks so dumb right now, but it literally is. It'll just give you such a clean, perfect eyeliner. The hardest part is to make them even on each eye. So just be very aware of how you put it on the one eye. So when you do the second eye, it's like similar. I think that's it right there, and there we go. So now I have tape on each side of my eyes. You see, this is where I'm gonna use as the guide to create the cat eye tail. So all I simply do right now is just take some of the eyeshadow right there, this little cream. It kind of dissolves as you start touching and playing with it with the brush. It's pretty hard, but the moment you start playing with it, it just gets softer and easier for you to apply. So I put a generous amount on the brush, and then I just kind of flicker off whatever I don't want to use. I cleaned off too much. And then I just start creating the cat eye. And do it on the other eye, and I cannot talk while I'm doing this, so I'll be right back to continue the story. Okay, so my eyeliners are done, and I just wanted to peel it off so that you guys can see how clean. I mean, sometimes you're gonna get a little spill, but usually I don't, so let's see how that goes. And it's so satisfying to see. There goes the residue of the eyeliner that's not on your skin. See this one? Look at how clean that eyeliner is. Woo! You're welcome. I know it looks kind of weird right now, but when you have lashes and you complete the look, it's gonna look a little bit cooler. So instead of doing like a black eyeliner before I put on my lashes, I'm gonna do this like dark blue metallic liner on the lash line so that it doesn't look too harsh with the black in the middle. I want it to be a little bit more happier and like sparkly than just have a plain black matte eyeliner. So yeah, he and I continued talking. I kept stalling so that I didn't have to meet up with him. But then there was like, I can only stall so much. And then it came time for us to meet up, and I mean, I was so excited as well to like meet up with him and like see him. I wasn't thinking that this was gonna turn into a relationship. I was genuinely thinking like, okay, once the mystery of like who we truly are, like once we meet each other for the first time, like it's gonna be over. Like we're not gonna we're not gonna care anymore. So whatever, we decided to just randomly meet up. We'd like set it on a Tuesday, and then like we're like, whatever, we'll meet on like Wednesday or Thursday whenever we could. So I'm like getting all dressed up. I'm burning my hair. I'm burning my hair, making it extra straight because I'm like, I need to look really cute, this and that. I didn't have any makeup. I didn't know what to do, so I remember just putting a little bit of mascara here and there without even curling my lashes. And my lashes need to be curled like 10 times before anything happens. So I technically didn't do anything, and then I just went out. So I mean, I was young and dumb, but I wasn't that dumb. I told him that we could meet. I didn't want to go where he was, so I told him to come to me. But I also didn't want to tell him to come to like my building. I just remember telling him to go to the nearest train stop by my house, and then I would like go meet him there. And that's exactly what we did. I had him go by the train station by my house, and then I told him to go meet me around there, and then that I would meet him once I was ready. Once he was there. And that's exactly what we did. I was so nervous. I was like, I could have peed my pants because I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, just the anticipation of like talking to someone for months and then like finally meeting them was like one of the scariest moments of my life up to that point. It was terrifying to like do that. I'm gonna put on my lashes and I'll be right back. Alright, so I finished putting on my lashes. Now I'm just gonna put a little bit of mascara to like mesh my natural lashes with the fake lashes together. I feel like I'm looking like a hot mess today. I'm also recuperating from like a really bad eye infection. I don't know what the hell it is. I really shouldn't be putting makeup on, but I have things and work to do. So you kind of got to do what you got to do. It's not all red and crusty like it was yesterday, but Mama's got money to make. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start putting on my foundation. You guys know that I'm really obsessed with the Maybelline Fit Me, the New Look Dewy and Smooth, which I got it in the wrong shade. So like I've said many times before, I'm just putting around my face in a circle and then putting lighter concealer in the center and blending it all together. Let's get to it. So then I was really nervous, which by the way, I know I mentioned that he sent me like a nude or like a dick pic for the first time. I just want to clarify, I never sent one because one, I didn't know how to take one. Two, I was way too shy and embarrassed about my body for me to even consider doing that. But guys just love sharing dick pics, as we all know now. I don't know why I thought I was so special back in the day. I mean, when you're 16, you're so impressionable. You're so like, oh my god, everything's about me. So you kind of just fall for it. But I also remember feeling like I don't know what to do, what to tell you, what to say, because like, okay, cool, like that's your dick, all right. My makeup is looking like really weird right now, but I promise you that towards the end it'll look less weird. So whatever, we finally decided to meet up, and like I told him to go to the train stop by me and that I would just meet him around there because I was young and dumb, but I wasn't that young and dumb. I was always obsessed with like true crime. So it was like, this, if anything, this is just like a serial killer or someone who's like into human trafficking that's gonna try and kidnap me now, but like I need to do it on my terms to make sure that it's not. So I told him to meet me up by that train station, and I went. I mean, I burned my hair for like hours before I went to make sure it was really, really straight. And I remember feeling so guilty because like my mom and my stepdad were cooking in the kitchen, and I was just like sneaking out and like to meet someone. It was like still early daylight, but you know, anything can happen. So he calls, I decided to call me like, hey, I'm stepping out right now and I'm heading to the train station. And then he's like, okay, so stay on the phone so that I can see who you are and like where you're coming from. And I was like, okay, cool, like whatever, that's fine, I'll stay on the phone. I'm walking, and it's about like 4 to 5 blocks from my apartment to the train station, and I'm walking so nervous because he's talking. He's like, wait, is that you wearing this? Like, he's describing so many people that were walking by, and I'm like, no, I'm still pretty far from the place. Like, don't worry about it. You'll see me. Like, you'll see me when you'll see me. And then he's like, is that you with the red jacket? Is that you with the rain boots? Is that you with the umbrella? And I'm like, no, 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 no. It was like a little game that we were playing. No, is that you? And then I'm asking him, it was like, is this you? Is that you with the hat? Is that you with the hoodie? Like, what? So I'm really nervous. My stomach literally starts like making noises and everything because that's how nervous I was. I was like, I'm literally gonna shit myself right now. And those like blocks from my apartment to the train station are really not that far. Like, but it felt like I was walking for days. I finally get there, and then I hear him say, "Oh, I see you," and my heart just drops. Like my hands got so cold. I can feel my feet get really cold. My hands and my feet got really, really cold. I was terrified and nervous, and he was like, "Oh, you look different from like your pictures," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" But I knew what I had done. Listen, I knew I catfished him, like I knew it, but he started this game, so there you go. He was like, "No, you don't look that different." He was like, he was like, "You're just not exactly the way you look in your picture." Like, he was trying to be nice about it, but like I was just like embarrassed but laughing at the same time. Like, to me it was so funny, the whole situation. So he ended up waiting for me. I was walking up, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm inside this place." Like, oh, he sends me like a picture of like the corner of the store, but like just like the little edge of the corner, so that I can try and figure out. He was like turning it into a game, into like a puzzle, and I was like, "Hey, I'm over this. Like, where the fuck are you? I'm out here standing in the cold, and like I want to go in so that we can fucking finally talk and like meet or whatever." And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm right here in the pizza shop." So I went in, I walked in, and then it was so weird. Like, I walked in and I didn't know what to do. To like hug him, do I give him my handshake, to like I was a 16-year-old kid who was so fucking confused. I was like, "I'd already seen your penis, but I don't really know you." Like, it was just so weird. So I ended up walking in, and I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. I know the guy from the pizza shop because my sisters and I would go in there once in a while and like have a slice of pizza and hang out. So like I kind of knew the guy. The guy knows me. He was like, "Hi, how are you?" Whatever. And then the boy that I was like meeting up with, he was like, "Hi." So he comes up to me. I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know how to act. Like, I didn't, you know that meme that says like, what do you do when you have a boyfriend? Like, do you feed him? Do you walk him? Like, what happens? Like, that's exactly how I felt. Like, I did not know how to do a normal interaction between him and I. So I came up to him and like was gonna like give him a kiss in the cheek, but he like kisses me in the lips for like just like a little peck. And I was like, "Oh, hi," whatever. So we're sitting there, and oh my god, I'm just getting little flashbacks from that moment. I remember sitting down. He was like, "Do you want anything to eat?" And I was like, "Oh my god, no, I don't eat. Look at me." Like, who was I kidding? Of course I wanted a slice of pizza, but I didn't get anything. He was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get a slice and like something to drink, and then we can talk." So they were talking, but it was like such an awkward conversation. Like, we didn't know what to say. So we're just talking, and I remember asking about his grandma or whoever his like caretaker was. I think he lived with his grandma. And it was just such an awkward situation, but he was cool about it. He was still acting like I'm like the cool guy, like I don't care. But I was so nervous, and I was, you know, trying to be myself, and he's like, "Yeah, I can tell you're nervous because you're not cracking jokes or like being who you are, you know, when we were talking on the phone." And I'm like, "Yeah, like," but I'm still trying to act cool. I'm like, "No, I'm totally fine. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like chill. I'm whatever." Woo. Things are looking rough, you guys. I'm gonna blend this all out. You guys know the game already. So he and I are just talking there, and I just remember his cold ass hands, his bony, skinny little cold ass hands are like touching me through his gloves. He takes off his gloves, and then he starts touching my hands, and we're like holding hands and talking. And then the owner of the pizza shop like realizes that we were kind of like on a date or something, so he goes, "Ooh," and that just made me so much more nervous and like awkward, and I didn't know what to do. And I think he ended up sending us like sodas to our table, which was like really nice of him. And because he knew me, and the guy was like, "Oh, that's cool, that's nice, whatever." We started talking, but at that point I was just so self-conscious that he realized what was going on, that the pizza owner knew what was going on. So I was like, "We need to go out and like walk or whatever." But at that point it was getting later and colder, that I was like, "Let's go in somewhere else so that we can talk," because I'm, you know, I'm like whatever. And the guy was like, "Okay, let's just keep walking and talking." So then he goes, "I have to leave soon anyways because I have to go do work," or whatever it is that he had to go do. So I was like, "I'll just walk you to your train station." To the train station was like across the street. So we go upstairs, we're walking, and then he goes, and I'm like, "Okay, bye, it was nice meeting you." Like, I was over it. Like, I just wanted it to be over. And he goes, "Wait, don't leave yet, let's just talk for a little bit." And I remember We were just sitting there by like the window of the train station. Like the train station had like a little window. We're like both sitting there, kind of like the way teenager. I just remember like whenever I go to the train station, I always see teenagers doing that, and I was like, oh, that was me at one point. So we're sitting there, and that's when we're talking. He's like getting all like smooth and like trying to be all suave and romantic and like, oh, you look so pretty today and this and that. And then he leans in for a kiss, and that was, guys, first of all, this is my first kiss ever. So I was like nervous as hell. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I've never kissed anyone. I was 16, about to be 17 like in a few months, or had just turned 16 actually. Oh, and I remember that in one of the conversations that we had, I think he probably asked me if I was a virgin, and I remember saying the truth, and I was like, yes, I am, whatever. And he was like, no, he's not, whatever. And then he asked me if I like had even made out with anyone or whatever it was, and then I was like, oh, of course. Like, I wanted to be honest, but I also didn't want to seem like a loser like back in the day, and I was like, no, I've kissed tons of people. Like, absolutely not. There was no one. I hadn't even practiced with like my hands. Like, I had no experience whatsoever. I mean, I didn't go into this situation thinking that I was gonna go in for my first kiss. I just thought I was gonna go in and meet this fucking weirdo, which I was starting to like, which I think I spoke to his grandma once on the phone. Like, he was taking it serious. I think I was taking it serious too. I think I wanted to like at that point meet him to see if we were gonna like date in real life, like what was gonna happen. I didn't know. I had no idea what I was gonna go in for, but I did not think I was gonna go in for my first kiss. So going back to the train station, we're right there. I'm waiting for him to wait for his train. I'm waiting with him for his train. I'm standing there, and then he starts being all suave and romantic and like kind of like gets him closer and everything for the kiss. And then in my moment at that second, I was like, you've never kissed anyone, just like imitate. But you know what? You know what I had? I had novela experience. So I had seen so many people make out in novelas that I just knew that I wanted to emulate that, and then I wanted to like imitate that. So that was my guiding point. So and if you've seen novelas, and you know that kisses there are so soft and dramatic and romantic and like so passionate. So he comes in for the kiss, and then I'm just very dramatic. I'm like, I can just, oh my god, I'm like embarrassed just thinking about it, how like dramatic I was. And I remember that was the first time that my brain, my mouth, and my vagina had linked together. Like, I feel like that was my sexual awakening. Physically, I had never even thought about my vagina in any other way besides a pee hole. Like, it was the weirdest thing ever. It was just like, it's just one of those moments when you just realize that you're like, oh, you're a body that feels things, and then like you were feeling things down there. It was the weirdest thing, and that was just my first kiss. It was really it was probably one of the best kisses of my life, and I remember him being a really good kisser, or at least to me he was a good kisser because that was my first kiss. But even after like making out with other people as an adult, like I don't remember anyone making me feel that way. But it's probably because that was my first kiss, and it was like my first introduction to that, so it's always just like, oh. So yeah, and then I remember I had a juice that the pizza guy had given us. Like, I still had mine, and he had on a white t-shirt. And I remember that when I went in for the kiss again, like we were making out at that point, at one moment I think I spilled my fruit punch all over his t-shirt, or like all over it, but it was just like on the corner of it, and he just gets so mad. So the romance, all the like bodies and all that beautiful sunshine and all that kind of romantic moment that I was having died, because he just gets so mad, so rude all of a sudden. He's just like so annoyed, and I was like, whoa, what just happened? So that romantic moment was completely over and killed over me spilling my fruit punch over his white t-shirt. He was really mad, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. But I'm also saying I'm so sorry and laughing at the same time, because I was nervous, awkward, and I had just my first kiss, and I had just discovered my vagina, pretty much is what I'm just telling you guys. That just makes me realize how innocent and how pure I was, and I feel like I still am. Because I just had no connection with my vagina until that moment. Anyways, going back, let's forget about my vagina. Going back to that boy, he's so mad that his white t-shirt was like stained with fruit punch, and we all knew that wasn't gonna come off, and I'm like, don't worry, it's gonna come off. And I remember just doing like a random like, I'm like, I just wanted to make him feel better because I can tell how upset he was, but I couldn't help but laugh because I was so nervous, and I'm one of those people who like laughs when you're nervous, when they're nervous. So I just kept laughing, and he was like annoyed that I was laughing, like rightfully so, like I was just being such a dick. So I'm just telling him like, oh, don't worry about it, just put some like, I don't remember, I think I told him to boil it or something like that to make him feel better. I was like, oh my god, that happened to me the other day, it's totally fine, just boil it or something and it'll be that boy probably his t-shirt was like ruined forever. But like I also was like so turned off at the same time because he was so mean. He just turned like completely different, so mean, so weird, that I was just thrown off at the same time. So he was like, okay, my train's coming, I gotta go. Mind you, we saw that the train thing said it wasn't gonna come for another 15 minutes or something like that, and I was like, ah, you're so mean, you're so rude. But I'm not saying that because I was so young and dumb and I couldn't defend myself. And also like, but in my head I was also turned off, and I was like, if anyone who can overreact or something so dumb like that is not someone I want to be around with. And I already knew that in my life. Like even when I was young and stupid, I already knew that I had certain type of standards. I was a virgin, but I was not a pendeja. So I'm gonna skip contour and I'm just gonna go right into the blush, and I think I'm gonna go heavy in the blush because my eyes don't really have any craziness aside from that eyeliner, which looks kind of cool, but not in love with it. Anyways, whatever, back to the story. So then he was just so mad about the whole situation, which like I get it, but he didn't have to be that rude to me, okay? I had just discovered my vagina. Anyways, so that happened, and I just remember walking, like I knew he was upset, and I knew that at that moment I knew that our little relationship, our little thing was over, and we had probably talked for like months, probably talking for like 2 to 3 months, if not more. I don't remember. It was just really awkward. I feel like we spoke a few, like I don't remember speaking, and we had spoken every single night from the moment he like got into my friend's phone and tracked my number, which like, wow, gross, weird. And by the way, I never told her. I always wanted to ask her, but I didn't know if she like knew or anything. And I remember him telling me like, oh, don't tell her please because she's gonna get mad at me, which rightfully so, you fucking creep. But I remember just being like, okay, I won't tell her, whatever, it'll be like our little secret. And then I remember just telling her one day, and I was like, fuck that shit. And she was like, oh my god, that's so weird. And then she ended up confronting him, but she wasn't confronting him in a way that she was like annoyed. She was just confronting him like, you're such a weirdo, and like that's kind of cool that you're like dating my friend, I think. Yeah. So, but yeah, after that first time we met up, I think we didn't speak that first night. I remember that. I remember just feeling like weird about it that we didn't speak the first night. Guys, I know I'm going in crazy with blush, but because I don't have contour, I think I can. At the end, it'll always end up looking really good, you guys, so don't worry if you're doing your makeup with me and you're like following what I'm doing, which please, I'm not to be followed. And we didn't speak at all, and I just remember feeling so disappointed and being like, oh my god, it's so over. And like I wasn't, and it wasn't because I was like in love with the kid, like I barely knew him, and it was just more because it was my first kiss and I was just like, I want to continue making out. But I knew that wasn't gonna happen. Like he was done after I had stained his shirt. He did not want to know anything about me. And I think we both said on the phone, we were just like, yeah, once we met, like there was no other interest. The only thing that kept us on the phone was knowing that we didn't know who the other person was. So we wanted to like, it was like mysterious, it was fun. But after that we were done. We were both like, yeah, I'm over it. Like I remember saying that, he's like, yeah, I'm over it. Like we're like, okay, bye. And like we never spoke again. And I'm kind of sad that we never spoke again, not because I wanted to, I mean, low-key, I still wanted to continue making out with him, but also because, like, I kind of do not remember his face at all. I really cannot remember his face. I don't even remember his name. I'm just gonna throw in the name Johnny. I think that was his name. Was Johnny? Oh, it was Johnny. Oh my god, Johnny, if you're watching this, hit me up, like, I want to see your face again. I don't know who you are. I cannot remember who you are. He probably doesn't even remember who I am. But if you ever remember, I hope, I mean, and I probably wasn't the only girl he did this with. Like, he probably, like, got so many other girls' phone numbers from, like, my friend's voicemail. So, creep. So, actually, don't hit me up. I'm just finishing up my makeup, you guys, with a little bit of highlighter. I'm keeping it really simple, my makeup, because I think I want the focus to be a little bit of the eyeliner and then a bold dark lip, which I am going to be doing on NARS lipstick, and I'll show you in a second. So, alright, so now I'm just gonna finish up my makeup look with a dark lipstick, lip color, which is from NARS, and this one is called Spin Me. You hear a little munching and crunching, it's Manolo eating his food. I hope you guys enjoyed the little tape trick for any eyeliner. Even though I showed you with this silver eyeliner, you can literally, if you're learning how to do makeup and you're still trying to like get the perfect cat eye, that's a really good way for you to practice and until you master how to do it without it. Yeah, that was pretty much the story for the first time I had a first kiss. That was my first kiss story. It was so weird, so creepy, yet so me. Like, I would be the one to get into situations like that. I still have to find something to wear. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It was really fun telling you guys this story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a lovely comment. Let me know if you still remember the story of your first kiss. Was it as weird as mine? Was it like weirder? Or was it just a normal? I just want to know everyone's first kiss story. I think those were fun to know and to hear, and I want to read all of them. So make sure you leave them down below. See you in the next video.